Okay. Alright, so we're going to take the first one here and we're going to draw a bedroom. Let's change that. Let's do a living room. So in this living room, I'm gonna say it's 22 feet. So I have drawn a little line there at 22 feet. Probably need to make it a little darker. Drawn my first line there at 22 feet. I'm gonna use my triangle here to make sure that I got my lines square to each other. I've got a 90-degree angle here. So I'm going to start with that, and I'll just give me something to go by. So I've drawn that just up a little bit. Back on my 1/4 inch equals a foot. Keyboard out of there. And let's say we're going to be 22 foot by, let's go 18. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to mark me a line across here. Alright. And then take that right there. We know we got to be at alright. And now that's got to be 22 foot. This is actually a little easier using a T-square, but I'm going to use what y'all are using. So go 22 foot. Okay. Looks like I'm off a little bit. Yeah, not bad. Maybe a little bit. Alright, so draw yours a little better than mine. It's off just a hair. Alright, so I'm going to put a door in this corner. I'm going to come in a foot from the edge. I'm going to take my compass here. Draw me a little line up just to give me something as a reference. Not darkening that too much, just a little bit. You take your scale. So a 3-foot door, 3/0 door, that's 3 foot. I can actually take the compass. I'm at the 0 mark. I'm going to go to my 3 right there. I'm actually at 3. So that's 3 foot. So I can take the compass, put it in right there. Ooh, I'm bad about that. And then I'm going to, okay. So I've drawn the door. I can erase this, darken that line right there a little bit, just to make that a little bit, so it stands out a little better. Right. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to say the walls on this little room I'm doing are 6 inches thick. So if I'm on the 1/4 inch scale, that's going to be half that thing right there. So let's do it on the outside. I think it'll be a little easier. Okay. So you're going to do that all the way around. You're going to actually make the thickness of the walls. Okay. You don't do that too dark, and then you're going to do that all the way around. Okay. That is a little off, but it'll be alright, I guess. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. As you can tell, I'm just marking that 6 inches. 1/4" scale there. Okay. Basically like I'm creating a border around the room, but these are the walls, so. Okay. Then we do the same thing here. Okay. Now this one we're not gonna, because I'm gonna remove that a little bit there. Okay. So now I have the walls drawn. I didn't tell you about a window, but it's a living room. We should probably have a window over here. So if the inside of that's 22 foot, we'll go with I'm getting a center line. So right there, I'm gonna say CL. That's the center line of the room. Let's see if I'm gonna go with a window. Let's say it's 6 feet wide, so that'll give me it's a nice size window. Okay. Draw that. Now we're gonna just darken that up. Okay, and we'll put a line right down the middle of that. Okay. Alright. So that's my door. That's my window. Right? And now that you've drawn a basic layout for a living room, the thing you got to look at now is I want y'all to write living in it. So I come back to my little scale and let's see. We're going to draw these on 1/4 inch. So living is, let's see, 1, 2, 6. So I got 6 letters in there. I know it ain't quite the same as this, but let's see from here. I'm gonna go 6. So it looks like, let's see, on my scale from 0, it looks like it's gonna be roughly 11. Or should work out pretty close to 11 feet. It's going to take me to actually draw that on this for my lettering. But if I am at, we were at 18 feet, I'm off just a little bit. So half of 18 would be 9, right? Which would be right here. So we'll do that, and then I'll mark a line right there too. And what I'm doing is I'm just making a line. I'm making a guideline, right? So I'm at 9 there. So I'm going to mark a line at 9. And then 1 at 10. I'm just going to trace me a little bit of thing here. Give me some guidelines to do my lettering. So it looked like it was going to be 11, so this thing is 18. So, no, it was 22. So if I'm at 22 and I've got 11, that's going to be 5.5 on each side. So if I start on this other side, I think the living's going to be a little tighter. So we'll start at like 6. So I'm going to start right here lettering at the 6. Okay. I'm going to use a pen because I'm not doing so good with that. Okay. We're going to go, it's not L. I'll keep my spacing pretty good there. fairly consistent. Oh, I about spelled it wrong. I did. Don't do that. Okay. So that's centered fairly well. I'm sure you are going to do a lot neater than that, but anyway. So you can tell that that would be the living room. So it's centered both ways. The dimensions on this thing, I'm gonna mark the dimensioning. So I'm gonna mark a line off. You at least want to leave a couple of feet off of there. So I'll go right there. Right here. Okay, and you want to make sure that you're giving yourself something to draw on. So I'm going to do this right here. Trying to get that pretty close to the center too. Okay. Okay, in this dimension it's 18 feet, but I want to make some guidelines on this one as well. It's hard to letter without guidelines. It's not really lettering then, it's just writing. Okay, I'm going to do that right there. I'm just giving me some little guidelines to look at. Okay, I made those a little darker than they needed to be. So this is 18 feet. And 0 inches. Okay. So that's the way you're going to label it. And then, of course, it'd be 22 feet across here. And that kind of gives you, and then here's the window, so you're going to do the window spacing. I guess I can go ahead and show you that too. So, I don't know how long this thing's going to let me so, let's go back up here. Stand about right there. Okay, that'll give me 6 on the 4. All I'm doing here, I'm just trying to give me a place to run my dimensions to, okay? And I know I want to be right in the middle here, so I'm going to, this one. Just going to give me a little space there. Okay. Now I'm going to need to come in and make my guidelines for the 1/4 inch. I'm going to try not to draw them as dark this time. There you go. There you go. This should really be centered completely, but so you're going to do 22 foot, and that is 0 inches, right? So that is our dimension. It's 22 foot 0 inches, right? Now I'm gonna come across to actually dimension the window. So the window, if we are at was 22 feet. The interior, so it's gonna, since we added that, it's gonna be 23 feet. So I want to be right in the center. Back off. I'm just gonna do that so it's a little easier. So at 22 feet, 11 would be the center. That's right. So 11 right there is the center line. So I've got a dimension where this window is going. Okay. So now I'm going to draw my dimension lines. And I know that that is going to be 11 foot 6 inches because I'm including the width of this wall now, right? Well, that means I did that wrong. That's 23 feet. Well, good thing I got an eraser. Because the outside, because what I have drawn, I don't know if anybody caught that, but I'm at the outside dimension of the walls. So this is 23 feet. Right? And that means this one would actually be 19. Because I'm not on the interior. I'm on, I don't see how these erasers work. Oh, I did that in pen. Okay. Alright. That's totally good. Alright, so now I'm going to dimension these. Write my draw my guidelines. Do my guidelines across here. I've done my guidelines, and we said this was going to be 11 foot, 11 feet, 6 inches, right? I've done my arrows everywhere, and that's giving me the, okay. Now you do the same over here, it's going to be the same thing as that. So it'll be 11 foot 6 on this one too. It's just showing that it is actually centered. Okay. Gotta come back in here and do the same thing. You're drawing these little guidelines. It's 11 foot 6. Okay. All right, and now for the door. So we're going to have to center the door too. So it's actually 3 feet because I came off of there. 1 foot on the interior. All right, let's see. So that right there is going to be the 1 foot on the center. So it'd be 1.5 foot on the there. So that's going to make it centered right here. Right, and I can draw this line down here across. It's going to give me that right there. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to draw me a line. This one I may not have enough room to draw it in the middle of it. I may have to actually show it down below. So let's see. Don't think I have enough to do that. Okay. To mention that one, I may actually have to go up. But this dimension will be. The center line was, so it's 3 feet. And let's see, no, that's right at 3 feet. So this, and we'll have to draw our little lines here to make sure that we're getting it right. 1/4 inch. I think it's going to be close to make it look right. You don't want it to be cramped because you have to be able to see this, right? it made it just big enough. Okay. Alright. And then you're going to mark from here to the other side. So the whole thing is you're dimensioning just this living room. So the living room is 18 feet, 22 inches on the inside, and it should be 19 feet, even though I messed that up. 19 feet by 23 on the outside. Okay, I'll talk more about that, but that's the size of the living room that you're going to be drawing. So the key is we're trying to get this centered to write living room centered. So you got to go center it this way and center it this way. You got to put your window in, and then you got to put this door in, and then just keep dimensioning all of it. So hopefully that's going to help. I know that took me a little while, but that's what we're going to do.